So I was inspired this morning by listening to Dr. Goldhamer from True North Health Center about carbohydrates and weight loss. What's the real truth about carbohydrates and weight loss? Well, the first concept is complex carbs are essential for weight loss and for health. They're where all the nutrients are found. They're where everything is that gives us the level of health we need to really thrive and also lose weight naturally. So, this is a tip that may be very helpful for you. When you prepare a meal, you want to first eat complex carbs in the form of salad is the easiest way. And then once you've had that, have some steamed veggies. That really helps to fill us up before we go to the more calorie-dense foods that are starchy, like beans, potatoes, whole grains, that kind of thing. And then you have a normal portion of the starchy foods. And if you're still hungry, have more of the greens, have more salad or steamed veggies. And that way you're getting so many nutrients in the body and you're going to lose weight very easily eating that way. Versus what we normally do is, well, most people live on a lot of processed carbs. And all this huzzah that we've had about carbohydrates is really about processed carbs. They are very damaging, not only to our health, but they make weight loss almost impossible.
Yeah, so the difference, there are different categories of carbohydrates. And like Connie was saying, for some time now, there's been a segment of the health food industry, you might say, that have really given carbs a bad rap because they put weight on and high glycemic and you get diabetes and all this. But what they're talking about really is what she said, the refined carbs that we have in processed foods. I think a deeper look at carbohydrates and their role in health is to understand that there's three ways to get energy. We're going to get energy. We're going to eat enough food to have the energy we need to get through the day. And calories are a measure of energy. Calories don't say anything about the value of a food in terms of its healthiness. It just means there's this much energy locked up in the food. So complex carbohydrates are the way carbohydrates come in whole foods. That's the way nature locks up the energy, complex carbs. So that's a starch in a potato, or a sweet potato, or a summer winter squash. But the carbs that are in the lettuce and the greens, there's carbohydrates in those too, and those are complex also. So that's what Connie's getting at, is that if we eat whole foods, we're eating complex carbohydrates, and that is where our bodies get the energy they need most efficiently. Human life is about efficiency. We have a brain, we have a body that is designed to be as efficient as possible. Because when we were evolving, it wasn't easy to get calories. We were foraging, we were hunting and gathering. It took a lot of work. I mean, think about it. We now go to the refrigerator and I can have a handful of almonds like that, lots of energy. But in the old days, I had to find the tree. I had to climb the tree. I had to shell and I got one almond. I mean, even today, Connie shells her walnuts and her filberts. She eats about 3 a day.
Not even that often, one a day.
Yeah. And so, it's about efficiency. And so when we were evolving, we evolved in ways to get the energy we needed most effectively. And that actually is complex carbohydrates. The other two sources of energy are fat and protein. Now, the reason that carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, well, any carbohydrate, is the gold standard for energy is because our bodies are designed to extract the energy out of those carbon hydrogen bonds. Basically, starches are hydrocarbons, and the energy is stored between these carbon molecules and the hydrogen. So it's able to get the energy out of that. You're looking at me like, am I going too far on this?
No,
Okay. I sometimes get lost in my love of the science of it all. What's that have to do with weight loss? So the science of it is that the body can extract the energy most effectively. It takes the least amount of energy to get the most amount of energy out of a carbohydrate. We can get energy out of a fat, but it takes more energy from the body side to get the same amount of energy out of a fat. And it takes even more energy to get the same amount of energy out of a protein. So carbohydrates are the gold standard for how the body wants to be most efficient in getting its energy. It's not unlike if I want to go to Costco, there's a million ways to get to Costco, but I always go the same way. Why?
it's quicker, easier.
It's quicker and it's easier. And when we eat carbohydrates, fat, and protein, the body goes, oh, this is where I'm going to get my energy. It goes to the carbohydrate first. That's the shortest route to Costco. So we want carbohydrates for energy. The body prefers them. Now, the thing about complex carbohydrates and the refined carbohydrates that we have in refined grains, breads, pastas, donuts, all of that, is that because they've been broken down, the body's able to access that energy, those calories, much more quickly. And so it's like if I want to heat my house in the fireplace with wood, I've got a couple of options. I can put in a log, get that log going, and it's just going to burn for 2 hours. I don't have to do anything. It's just nice, steady burn, keeps the house at a nice temperature. Or I can get kindling. I can just stuff the fireplace with kindling. You know, I like that. Woo, I've got tons of energy really quick, but it's high heat and then there's low heat and nothing in between. And that's what it's like when we eat a donut. It's like putting kindling in there instead of the log, because all those calories come in, they go into the bloodstream, goes, ooh, I got all this energy. And the body says, I don't need that much energy. This is getting the house too hot. I got to get that out of there. So where's the insulin? We got to turn some of this into fat. And then, of course, the refined carbohydrates like sugar, where there's nothing, there's no other nutrients, and there's no fiber at all. That goes right into the bloodstream straight away. It actually goes into the bloodstream right under our tongues. It doesn't even have to be digested. And that's like heating the house with a fireplace full of Kleenex. It's very hard on the system. So carbs are the gold standard for energy. Complex carbs are the healthy way to get the energy we need. Anything else taxes the body in a way that we put weight on.
So, to summarize what we're about today, complex carbohydrates are how you bring your health up and how you lose weight naturally without any counting calories or worrisome about portion control, which never works long term. So what you want to do is have a big salad and steamed veggies first. And then secondly, have your starchy veggies or your beans or your whole grain portion. And if you're still hungry, eat more of the green stuff, have more salad, have another salad, and you will feel better. Your energy levels will go up and you'll lose weight with no thought about it at all. So that's the message we wanted to give you today. Now, recipe, you were going to share what you did yesterday.
Lentil hamburger buns and lentil Cinnamon buns. Okay, so one of our clients shared with us a lentil bun recipe, you know, and we're not into bread. I mean, we've kind of left that out a long time ago for the reasons that we just explained. You know, it takes this complex carbohydrate that's in the lentil, grinds it down, so now all those calories go into the system much more quickly. But every now and then we thought, well, let's just experiment and see what we've got to work with. And so we made these lentil hamburger buns, and they're a real hit. So,
Yeah, they're really, really good. And we cut a bun in half and we use half as the bottom and then the hamburger, the lentil burger with all the fixings and then the lettuce leaf as the top. It's so good.
yeah. So it's kind of like an open face. We still don't indulge in two pieces of bread with our hamburgers. But yeah, it's interesting to see how it works. And then the modification to that is instead of making it savory to go with a hamburger, we add raisins, date paste, and cinnamon to the same recipe, and you come up with well, I guess what would be considered a cinnamon raisin bun. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I used to have raisin bread. My mother would buy a loaf of raisin bread every now and then. That was a real treat. So that's what we're going to share with you today.
And it's made with red lentils, which makes such a difference in how it tastes and how it feels in the body. Thanks for joining us.
And we'll see you next week.